I remember when he told me she ghosted him. After 5 weeks of talking, not arguing, not fighting, just vanished. He wasn't heartbroken. He was confused. She had been sweet, attentive, obsessed with astrology and iced oat milk lattes. She told him he was different, deep, even mysterious, said he made her feel safe. He opened up, spoke about his father's silence, his struggle with being too much for some and not enough for others. She listened like she'd never leave, and then she did. No warning, no closure, just digital silence. That night, he stared at his phone like it owed him an answer. Was it something he said? Was she bored? Was it all fake? But deep inside, something darker stirred. A voice, not loud, but ancient. The voice didn't ask why she left. It asked, why did you need her to stay? He didn't sleep that night, and he never chased her again. Modern dating wasn't about connection anymore. It was a carousel of masks, scrolling endlessly for a high that lasts until someone newer, shinier, more damaged or more healed pops up. He wasn't bitter, just tired. He saw it happen to his friends too. Guys pretending to be stoic because vulnerability is a turn off. Girls pretending they didn't care because attachment is cringe. No one really wanted love. They wanted relief from loneliness. And when relief showed signs of becoming real, they ran. He once read a quote, something about people being drawn to what reflects their wounds. He didn't remember the author, but Jung would have understood. Because in that silence, in that aching absence, he didn't just lose a girl, he met his shadow. The parts of him he hid even from himself. The boy who begged to be chosen. The man terrified of being ordinary. The lover who craved chaos because peace felt like boredom. And modern dating, it wasn't killing romance. It was just exposing what had always been broken. People didn't fear being alone. They feared being seen. That's why she left. Not because he was too intense, but because he mirrored back something too real. He texted her once, a week later, hey, hope you're okay. No reply, but that was fine. For the first time, he didn't spiral, he journaled. He hit the gym. He read Jung, not the quotes on Instagram, but the real stuff. And slowly, he stopped asking why she disappeared. He started asking why he kept offering pieces of his soul to women who hadn't earned the right to hold them. Dating wasn't a game, it was a mirror. And the ones who couldn't face their reflection, they were always the first to run. A few months passed. He met someone new. This one had edge. She wore sarcasm like armor and flirted like she was daring the world to disappoint her. Her favorite phrase was, I don't do feelings, but he saw through it. He recognized the dance to people pretending to be whole while secretly hoping the other might fix what was broken. They'd talk for hours, but never about anything that mattered. They had chemistry, sure, but it was the kind of chemistry that burned fast and left ash in its wake. Still, he stayed. Not because he believed she was the one, but because something about her chaos felt familiar, like home. Or maybe like trauma disguised as home. And that's when it hit him. Jung once wrote that when we fall in love, we don't see the person, we see the projection, the ghost of someone else. A parent we never pleased. A wound we never healed. An echo from childhood we've been trying to answer with every lover since. That's why modern dating is exhausting. Because no one's really dating each other, they're dating their unfinished business. She wasn't his girlfriend, she was his pattern, and he was hers. They'd argue over things that didn't matter, cancel plans, then regret it, say I'm fine, when clearly they weren't. Test each other's patience just to prove the other wouldn't leave, and when things got good, really good, one of them would self-sabotage. Because peace wasn't romantic, peace was foreign. He started noticing it more on dating apps, in friends' breakups, in the TikToks that made loneliness a brand. We've become experts at ghosting, breadcrumbing, benching, orbiting. But we have no idea how to just sit with love. Because sitting with love means sitting with ourselves, and most of us haven't done that in years. So we keep repeating it, dating the same person in 100 different faces, chasing a high, then running when it turns into depth. She eventually told him, I'm not ready for anything real. He didn't argue, he just smiled and said, "I know." And this time, he meant it. He watched her walk away, not with anger, but with clarity. He wasn't heartbroken, he was healing, because he found the right person, but because he was finally becoming the right person for himself. He stopped dating for a while, not out of bitterness, but out of respect for himself. He realized most people weren't looking for love. They were looking for someone to distract them from doing the work, the inner work, the real work, and he was done being someone's emotional smoke break. He spent more time alone. At first, it felt hollow, like detoxing from a sugar high. No flirty notifications, no temporary validation, just silence. But in that silence, he found something strange: peace. Not the Instagram quote version, the real kind. The kind that shows up when you stop performing. He started reading more, working out not to impress, but to center. He forgave people who never apologized. He even forgave himself for settling, for overgiving, for breaking his own heart, just to keep someone else's beating. This wasn't self-love. This was self-respect, different energy. One night, he sat at a cafe, sipping coffee alone, when he saw her, not the girl who ghosted, not the one who said, "I don't do feelings," someone else. She wasn't drop-dead gorgeous, but she had presence, like she knew who she was, and wasn't looking to be rescued. She smiled, not in a flirty way, in a real way. They talked, and this time, it didn't feel like a game. He didn't perform. He didn't shrink. He didn't overthink every word. He showed up. So did she. And maybe it would last, maybe not, but that wasn't the point anymore. Because he finally understood what Jung meant. The goal is not to be loved. The goal is to be whole, and when two whole people meet, love isn't a transaction, it's a reflection, a mirror, not of wounds, but of healing. That's the problem with modern dating. People keep asking, will they choose me? When they should be asking, do I even know who I am yet? Because until you do, every love will feel like war, and every goodbye will feel like a collapse. But when you finally meet yourself, really meet yourself, you stop chasing storms. You become the calm, and that's when real love walks in. He began noticing the shift everywhere, not just in himself, but in the world around him. Women were exhausted from pretending to be unbothered. Men were exhausted from pretending they didn't care. Everyone was either chasing the thrill or hiding from intimacy, and no one was really home in their own body. He remembered reading about Jung's concept of the Anima and Animus, the feminine in every man, the masculine in every woman. But now, those inner energies were completely out of sync. Women were being told to be hyper-independent, don't need a man, don't catch feelings, stay mysterious. Men were told to man up, but also cry, be soft, but also assertive, be providers, but don't be patriarchal. Everyone was confused. No one knew the script anymore, and instead of learning each other's language, we just blamed. You're too emotional, you're too distant, you don't try. You care too much. But deep down, we weren't angry at each other. We were angry at how deeply we all wanted to be held, and how scared we were to admit it. The truth. Modern dating didn't just lose love, it lost polarity. When a man rejects his inner softness, he becomes cold. When a woman rejects her inner strength, she becomes bitter. And when both people are wearing masks, no one can fall in love. Only egos can. And egos don't love, they consume. He started noticing couples around him arguing in silence, scrolling instead of speaking, looking together, but feeling miles apart, and it hit him. Modern dating is not a crisis of romance. It's a crisis of identity. People aren't struggling to love. They're struggling to be themselves. And when you don't know who you are, every relationship becomes a guessing game. But if you do the work, if you dig deep, if you meet your own shadow and your inner opposite, you stop searching for someone to complete you. You start attracting someone who complements you. Weeks passed. No drama. No chaos. No breadcrumb texts in the middle of the night. Just quiet. He didn't crave attention anymore. He craved alignment. And that's when he realized something no dating coach ever told him. He was never supposed to chase the one. He was supposed to become someone worth finding. He thought about all the versions of himself he'd handed over to people who never stayed. The overthinker, the fixer, the pleaser, the almost man trying to earn love by being agreeable, emotionally available, and not like other guys. But none of that had worked, because love isn't a transaction, it's an invitation. And most people are too scared to accept it, because to accept it, you'd have to put down your weapons, you'd have to show your scars. You'd have to admit that you are not as fine as your Instagram says you are. That's the Jungian paradox. The more you deny your shadow, the more it rules your life from behind the curtain. And in dating, it shows up as the people we choose. He didn't attract emotionally unavailable women because he was unlucky. He attracted them because they mirrored the parts of him he hadn't faced. The fear of being truly known. The fear of being truly seen. But now, he knew how to sit with himself when the phone didn't buzz. Knew how to hold space for silence without panicking. Knew how to look someone in the eyes and say, "I like you," without expecting a goddamn thing in return. He wasn't healed. He was healing. And that was enough. So when love came again, it came soft. It didn't knock down his door or play games or send mixed signals. It came honest, real, quiet like a Sunday morning, and for once, he was ready. Not because she completed him, but because he had already met himself. So many people walk through life looking for the right person, but very few ever become them. He finally understood. Dating isn't about finding the perfect partner. It's about meeting the right mirror, and the clearest mirrors only show up when you're no longer afraid of your reflection.